What up? How's it going? Hey, yo, I believe I spoke about this in the review to the last episode, but it's apparent that Kim is feeling a lot of the stress of not only her situation, and remember, it's clear as day. This isn't really what she wants to do, but it's a path to success. She's successful, and she's trusted by a growing organization, right? Like, to be on the ground floor, we talking about she could be very successful as they grow and take over the Southwest and try, as it looks, to just take on the West as a whole. It looks like they're trying to go the whole Big 12 blueprint, right? There were moments in there where you're like, oh yeah, this, even what's going on with Jimmy is affecting Kim. And it shows how much she really loves him. Early on, because I'm doing the episodes right now, right? You could see how much of a good friend she was. Even when she got him the job with the other law firm that was in Santa Fe. And you're like, yo, she really cares about him. And her dealings with Howard and all that, until recently, right? You could tell that she was always looking for him and had his back. So as they've gotten even closer, it's going to become apparent, like, she really loves him. And anything he's going through, it affects her in a way where, you know, right? Like, it's almost sad. Oh, Gus, Mike, what they did with Nacho, crazy shit. Let's go. Man. Damn.
He wanted me to talk. I talked.
Done.
James McGill.
James, hi, it's Robbie Finn from CC Mobile.
Hi.
Am I calling at a bad time?
No, it's fine.
Great, well, good news. If you're still interested, we'd like to offer you a position at our Uptown branch. He's talking about starting you off as a shift supervisor. You can get your training done today if that works for you.
I'm sorry. My plans have changed. I'm not going to be able to take that job.
I saw an interview she did where she said people ask her about her ponytail.
You take it off?
Like it's like a
Hey, you want time
its
for
own
dinner?
entity.
I got a hankering for that iced tea.
Yeah, that sounds good. I should be back by 7. I was thinking that maybe you should talk to someone. I got a name.
Yeah, like I said, she really, really cares about this motherfucker.
He's not far from here. I've heard good things.
Yeah, well, thank you. Just I have to check out my schedule and... Oh, jeez. I almost forgot to tell you. I got a job. You're looking at Albuquerque's newest mobile communications specialist. I'm a shift supervisor even. Be very impressed.
But you'll just give him a call when you get a chance.
Of course, absolutely. Mr. Finn, James McGill, listen, I've been thinking it over, and I just can't pass up this opportunity if the position is still open.
Okay, next.
CR 2003114576, State versus Scotty Blakey.
Judge Wilson, would like to see you in chambers at the next recess.
In the first place.
You know, I heard about a case, and I think you might be the right person for it. Interested?
Of course.
There's a young woman in her early 20s, pregnant with her first child. The baby's delivered fine, but the young mother suffers serious brain damage. I mean, she's left comatose on a respirator. And the family is naturally devastated. And they're broke, so they have no way to pay for the young lady's care. And to make matters worse, the hospital refuses to take responsibility. And they've hired one of the most expensive firms in the state.
Okay.
This is the plot of the verdict.
Yes, of course it is. Because
Really?
movies are the only place where those once-in-a-lifetime cases exist. You know what I got coming up next? I got a janitor who threw his pee on his boss. This is the real world, Miss Wexler, and you won't find any Save the Broken Lawyer cases in it.
Okay.
Don't think that you are the first to try to rediscover their love of the law by trolling my court.
That's crazy. Okay.
You know, a girlfriend of mine is playing piano with her band tonight.
Oh,
at
tonight,
the launch
huh?
pad. They're pretty good. You want to go?
Tonight's group.
We could ditch.
I better go. I told Stacy I'd be there. Maybe I could stop by after.
That'd be great. I think he needs a friend. Every time I see him, he seems worse.
Henry's fine.
You talk to him?
Don't need to.
Then how do you know?
Because that dead wife he's always talking about never existed.
What?
What are you talking about?
It's an act. The guy's story changes every time he tells it.
Really? No, I don't think so.
The romantic night at the Cubs game, their first kiss,
Yeah?
never happened.
You can't know that.
Wrigley Field didn't get lights until '88. There were no night games before then. None of his details add up. Like a bad poker player, when he's lying, he rubs his wrist.
You want to put your money where your mouth is?
Well, you gonna come to group tonight?
Make it interesting.
$10 says that when he talks about Judy, different story.
CC Mobile, this is Jimmy.
Heyo, how's the first morning? But wait till inventory week. There's a line out the door.
When's inventory week?
You just missed it.
Any chance that you could move me to a store with a little more traffic?
Let's see. The Gold Street store is always hopping. But it looks like the schedule's all full right now. Let's give it a couple weeks and then we'll see.
Sí, deseas, recuerdo las ventanas polarizadas. Ese es el que nos sacó de la carretera. Este lugar es una fortaleza. Vamos a necesitar más gente. Puedo traer a Domingo y Javier y sus hombres. Los juntamos y los atacamos esta noche.
They about to go do that shit right now? Oh, I'm like, what? Oh no, they are about to go do that shit right now. They looked like. I don't know what he talking about. We got this. Oh
amigos.
shit.
Fucking Salamanca's.
Yo, god damn. Boy, they set that place off. Them twins are crazy. Oh, okay. I forgot they had the bag.
¡Ríndanse, güeyes! ¡Es la única forma de que salgan vivos!
Damn, they're in a tight spot.
¡Ya no tienes balas! ¡Ríndete ya!
I was like, man, Nacho, like, if he do this, yeah, but he didn't have to, because that motherfucker is assed out. But at least it looks like he was putting in work. And they walking out with the work and the money. With the boots with the skulls on the front. Them twins are hilarious, y'all.
We cleared out the Espinosas. They're all done.
And the Salamanca brothers?
Marco took a hit, but he'll pull through. It's territory, isn't it? Salamanca's wipe out the Espinosas. Espinosa territory isn't for grabs. Cartel can't give it to the Salamancas, so I think they give it to you.
The expansion. Whew.
Get some rest. You have more to do.
Whoops. Sorry. Willow, you hadn't quite finished.
I made French toast for breakfast, and we talked about the self-pasting toothbrush she's making for the science fair. I took her to school and went to work, and then I realized it. I don't know why I noticed it just then, but I hadn't thought about Maddie all morning.
Damn. I've never thought about how that would affect somebody. The first time they realize that they are moving on, and how that would in a way bring them back down into the despair, because it's like, you never want to forget him. And in her mind, I'm not saying she actually forgot him, but as you see right here, it's playing with her mind like, damn, I didn't think about him. Like, I'm moving on with it. There's some guilt in that. It's like, how do you process that? That's interesting.
And they weren't just minutes.
Hours?
There were hours that I didn't think about him. And if I can go hours, then why not a whole day? Why not a whole week? I mean, what if I lose the sound of his voice? What if I forget him completely?
A lot of us in this room have felt the same things you're talking about.
I know I have. This guy at work, I've been avoiding him for the last 2 weeks. Ever since he got back from his vacation to Australia.
Let me guess.
I always wanted to go to Sydney, but money was tight. Finally, we were going to go for our 25th, and that's when she got her test results.
Oh,
Mike, you have something you want to add?
I can't take it.
You don't want to hear what I have to say. This guy was never married.
What are you talking about?
Mike, now, you know the rules.
Yeah, I know your rules. He's been coming in here for months selling you a bill of goods.
Just not true.
Yeah? Okay. So I'll go to the public library and I'll get the papers from 1997 and I'll run a search on Judy DeVore, beloved wife of Henry DeVore. Tell me I'll find her obituary. She wanted to go to Australia? Well, last month it was Cuba. Come on, Henry. Let's look at the papers, see if the math works.
Come on, Mike.
She's not there, is she? Go on, say it. You have no shame. Well, he came to the right place, didn't he? He knew you wouldn't notice, and you didn't. All wrapped up in your sad little stories, feeding off each other's misery. You wanted me to talk. I talked.
Oh, okay.
Estoy bien. Puedo descansar aquí por un ratito.
What's that say? It's not a guessing game.
38 degrees. Should be 35. Must have come in set wrong.
Goes out set right.
So part of it is, when she said that, he literally has to do stuff like this, which he doesn't have to. Could just be chilling at the house, get them checks. He has to do stuff like this to stop thinking about Maddie. Like that little clip they showed of Maddie writing his name in the concrete or whatever. You know what I mean? He's thinking about him all the time. And you could see the look on his face as she was saying that it was like, it was some true hurt there. You know what I mean?
Hermantraut.
He wants to see you.
Yeah?
Tonight.
I'm a fancy guy myself.
Shasta.
Yeah, well, you can buy a truckload. Here you go.
Hey, whoa, this is more than we talked about.
Yeah, Bavarian Boy made quite a splash at the Collectibles Expo. Bidding war.
Wow.
Great. We both know you could have kept most of this. I would have never known the difference.
Yeah, well, you could have left me high and dry. Got any more where that came from?
No, not really.
Bummer.
We're gonna do this again. I'll find something.
Sounds good. When you do, call the vet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yeah, new job, new phone.
Is the man listening? Privacy Soul here. See, he knows how to tap into what we are all thinking. And he got the idea from the dude, right? Like, guy's so worried about, what's going on. But he's like, hey, new job, new phone.
You want to see me? Here I am.
In order for our arrangement to continue, there is a matter we need to discuss.
Okay.
Do you have something to tell me? If you do, you would be well advised to do so.
Nacho Varga. I wondered when you were going to get around to this.
You came to me. You asked for a favor. You looked me in the eye. You shook my hand. And all the while, you knew Varga was moving against my interests.
I said I wouldn't kill Salamanca. I never promised to be his bodyguard. So,
fact.
Well, now, you gonna make a move, you better make it. But they're not gonna, are they? You brought me here because you haven't asked. So why don't you stop running a game on me and just tell me about the job?
First, let me start by saying don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you are subscribed, make sure to hit the notification bell. Shout out to all the new viewers. Shout out to all the subscribers. And I have a Patreon with full length and early reactions to things like this. If you'd like to, check it out. I just watched the episode of Peaky Blinders, and I spoke about how Solomon's works with other characters. He's going to test you and poke and prod you and ask you questions, and it's not just going to be, hey, I got a task for you. No, or, hey, I got a proposition. No, he moves how he moves so he can work the situation, and Gus does that also. But Mike ain't had time for all that Gus shit at the moment. He like, look, Gustavo. He ain't say Gustavo, but you know what I mean? He's like, look, man, they not going to do nothing. They not going to make a move because you have an ass. Just fucking ask me. Right? Like, he's like, yeah, you mad about the nacho thing, but we got a partnership. Like, what? You know what I mean? I gave you my word on one thing. Right? I ain't going around telling you what's going on. Like, that ain't up to me. You know what I mean? We both grown men. But here's what's dope about them two. Everything I just said it. They ain't had to say that. What's understood ain't got to be said, right? And those two dudes are in that type of lifestyle that they've survived, right? Even him being a scumbag cop, he survived because they know how to move around. And so when Mike gives his word, you're getting no more and no less. We know that about him. You're getting no more and no less. Whatever his word was, that's what you getting, okay? My man ain't going out, hey, this is what's going on behind your back. He like, I gave you my word, I ain't gonna move on that boy. Like, I ain't his bodyguard, which he correct. And I believe I've said this before, alluded to it, is that all the characters, we're covering their stories, and it's not taking anything away from, at least for me. In fact, I take that back. For a lot of people, I know they have a problem with, when are we getting to Saul? And I can kind of read that I've had comments of people, like a couple people saying since I posted it to YouTube that, yo, I didn't watch this because I really didn't get it, or I didn't really care about it. But like you watching it put me onto it more. Like, everything that's happening is a building block, right? Like, even the guy saying the thing about the cell phone, you see him paint all that on there. Hey, think the man is listening, privacy sold here. Now, he does that for the job, but that's another building block for Saul. Why? When Saul opened that motherfucking desk, he had like 50 cell phones in there. Right? Everything that happened is a building block from Jimmy to Saul Goodman. And so I appreciate it, even if it seems like it's small, right? Even down to, and y'all made, because I'm watching a bunch of stuff, so I'll forget like lesser characters and shit like that. Y'all made me realize, oh, that's the dude that they worked with in the later seasons with the oh my goodness, the exterminators, right? And so now it makes it another building block. Okay, let's see. Mike, Stace, and old girl from the situation. First off, it starts with we see Mike, and he's thinking about Maddie. We see what that is, and it's like, damn. And then he says that you wanted me to talk, I talked. Okay, boom. So then later on, my man, he talks with old girl. You know what I mean? They like getting closer, and to the point where she's like, hey, you want to ditch? She's like, nah, I gotta go. I promised Stace. You see how much he cares about Stace? That he would not ditch. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, that he, it's a chick right there, like, who clearly is interested in him. He a man. Nah, I'm not going to ditch that. And it wasn't even no hesitancy, okay? We end up all the way to the point where Stace is calling him and he won't even pick up the phone, okay? So I like the little thing they did, because they throw little stuff like this in here that's funny. You have that guy with his girl Judy Henry and his girl Judy, and he's bullshit. And she's like, what? Okay, it's a bet. Right. So they go there. And they covered two parts of trauma. The feeling of guilt when you're starting to move on. Like, she's right at the very beginning of that. She was like, it wasn't minutes, it was hours I hadn't thought about him. Did you see the look on Mike's face? Like, it's incensed, it looked like to me. And what I felt like in that moment, I don't think he hates Stace. I don't think he's even angry at her, at least for right now. But it's a thing of he's being faced with, I can't keep my son off my mind. Them showing that clip at the beginning, that's this type of stuff a father is thinking about. He's thinking about Maddie's whole life. Right? Like, she knew him at the end of his life, for real. Tell the truth. I don't know. Wait, was they high school sweethearts or something? Who knows, right? But either way, like, she didn't know him. Like, he held him when he was born or some shit like. So when she says that, as I said, look at what Mike is doing, even though they were told he didn't have to. He's been told he doesn't have to do that. He's doing all this supervisor work and shit like that, and security and safety. The reason being is because sitting around, Maddie always is on his mind. He's never not thinking about him. So when he's hearing that, it's more of a thing of he would just rather have not had that shared to him. He knows she has to move on. He understands that. But the fact he had to sit there and listen to that and be faced with the world moving on without his son is, that makes you feel a certain way, right? So when he unleashed it on that dude and then he goes, you wanted me to talk, I talked, right? It's like, okay, get that. Hey, another good episode, laying the foundation for everybody and everybody's relationships and all that going forward. So, hey, next episode.